Good morning. I'm going to attempt, I think, to talk about the issue of, it's a big topic. Governance, Game A versus Game B, and possibly anarchism. And the kind of structure of our evolving society. So I would suggest that something like a religion will always emerge. That when you do not have Christianity, or when you do not have a religion, you will end up with a political structure that acts like a religion. And that might look like, I'm trying to say religion is something like an oversimplified view of either the world itself or the social structures, which, like religion used to be all-encompassing, right? But it is getting to the point where the social structures, the science has so seeded the idea of what reality is that it's become a little off hands for religion. A little, not fully, but a little. And as a result, and religion is always, there's a dimension to religion that is always about creating as simple a structure as possible. That is because if you do not have a simple structure, then it cannot keep a large group cohesive. The more complicated the structure is, the less cohesive it is. That is partially why in the Towards Christ model or project, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. It's got some pretty heavy-hitting philosophical ideas in there, I think, but ultimately I'm trying to distill it down into as few statements as possible. It's just a little complicated because there's this duality of the natural and the supernatural living in tandem. So that you can, anything that you're describing spiritual and trust is actually a spiritual event, can also be flipped into a naturalistic mindset. And you can do both of those things on any level. And that can be hard for people. But it's also something that if we all were better at, I think, we would all be better at also understanding each other and growing in connecting with our supposed enemies, which we're going to have to be able to do if we're going to survive as a species, I believe. I think. So then another issue is, so if you don't have a unifying religion, and your politics become the religion, then you suddenly have a dynamic where people cannot get along, where where people are polarized. And let's state another problem. Let's look at this in another direction. Our government has gotten vast, and again, this is the religion problem, right? Religion is that which keeps the group cohesive. The group that is America, for example, since I know the best and most about that, our religion can't seem to find a balancing point, right? Or at least not a point where the majority, the vast majority, not a tiny majority, but a vast majority, a large majority, are satisfied, right? It's not like there's a large cohesive whole with various unhappy minority groups that are just like, well, okay, I guess I can live with being in this country under this dominant group that I don't quite agree with. Sigh. No, there's so many divisions in our political structure. It's ridiculous. So, at least that's what it looks like to me. We don't understand each other. The sides of the political spectrum don't understand each other, and a big part of that is the fractionation within political structures. If we weren't in the business of fractionating each other by our accusations and misinformation, well, we've just added fuel to the fire of division. But I'm trying to get to something more specific. I guess I'm trying to figure out how to challenge the status quo. People don't seem willing to do that. And again, I think that goes back to the religion thing. And maybe that's the answer. Maybe I have to pound that into people's minds that when you follow the political structure blindly, when you're blindly accepting your political side versus the other, then you're accepting a polarized structure. It's a polarized structure. It's not the whole picture, right? The left doesn't have the whole picture. The right doesn't have the whole picture. They're both these malformed, edited, and summarized structures for political action and belief, which are built solely on the defeating on the other side. They're not looking at reality. They're not looking at real solutions, because real solutions recognize when there are people in the world that disagree with you. I remember hearing somebody talking about the fact that after Roe v. Wade, there were still people against abortion. And they're like, what the heck? We won this battle. It's like, no, you don't win the battle unless you kill the opposition. Otherwise, the opposition is still out there, and they're more frustrated than ever because they can't get their message heard. And we've got to understand that. We've got to understand that our whole political structure is built on this oversimplified religious structure that will have a breaking point at some point. I'm amazed that we're able to be as cohesive as we are with as divisive as we are. I don't know how much longer that can last, but it's amazing. I guess I've heard it said we've actually always been pretty divisive, and maybe that's true. Maybe we just feel it more because of social media and such. Although there are some crazy riots going on out there. But yeah, I guess we went through a period of unusual peace between the political structures, between the political parties, between the parties, and we've lost that again. Now we're back at each other's throats, so to speak. Be that as it may. Okay, so I haven't really gotten to the anarchism issue. Okay, that's fine. Maybe tonight. To summarize all that, to try to, I believe with all my heart that we are spinning our wheels in the mud. We're getting a little bit of traction here and there, but the vast, vast, vast majority of the things that need to happen for the human race, and I'm not being over dramatic. I believe this. I could be wrong, but I believe it. The vast majority of things that have to happen in order for the human race to have a sustainable future are not happening, and it's because we are basically a religion of the left wing and the right wing in this country. And we are being manipulated. We are oversimplifying the perspective and the way we need to move forward, because all we are seeing is what we want. What I want. I want my side to win. Nah. I want him to lose. Nah. Instead of, okay, this is the reality. Half the human population of our country are still here at the end of the election. Why not, instead of trying to defeat them, we figure out how to work with them? That is not a betrayal of your ideals. That is an attempt to make this country function. That's what it is. You can't make the country function by fighting the other team and acting like you're winning over them just because you win an election. You're not. They're just going to get angry. They're going to build force, and they're going to push back. And it's ridiculous. We've got to learn how to synthesize, to hold fast our dearest values, but to move into the commons and be like, okay, let's talk about this. Let's resolve this. All right, I got to get into work. Thank you for your time.